Well, I spent 3 months on Ron Paul's 1207 back in the spring, and at that time they had 100 co-sponsors. When I finished, they had 186. They ended up with 311.
Right.
And if you can get on the stations, and I can. In fact, Fox called me last week, and I had to turn them down because I had previous commitments which I will not break. Like if they call me and said, go on and get off, your program, I tell them to take a hike. That's just the way
I'm glad you give us that.
You go with the people who are with you. And,
right.
Fox essentially is the enemy. And so, but anyway, they're desperate. And one of the reasons they're desperate is my ratings are so high, they're freaking out. They don't know who I am. And they said, well, how can this guy beat Hannity and Beck and Limbaugh and Dr. Laura and O'Reilly? I mean, who is this masked man? And so finally they found out Rush and O'Reilly were playing tapes of mine from previous programs because I had people write to me and tell me. So they're going a little goofy over that. But I'm going to stay on this for 3 months, and I'm going to make sure the American public knows about it, and they will find out.
Well, I'm definitely glad you're on the warpath along with us here. Now, I do want to bring on Trader from New York City, 646 area code. You're on with the gang here, Doc, Bob, and myself.
Hello, guys.
How's it going? Howdy.
Hi.
Hi. Bob, I just have a question regarding the Chinese renminbi and Hong Kong dollars. With the U.S. devaluations, how safe are these currencies? And because over here people are so hyped up with the stock markets and they don't really know the crisis looming. So I just want to know what's your take on it.
Well, first of all, the
very good
strongest
question.
currency.
Thanks for calling.
The strongest currency in the world today still is the Swiss franc, followed by the Canadian dollar, the Australian dollar, and the Norwegian krona. And so if you were to move out of dollars and you wouldn't want all your money in gold and silver-related assets, you would go to those sovereign treasuries to put your money in, not U.S. treasuries, those treasuries. And the situation is that I kind of forgot the question. What was the question again?
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, it's regarding the currencies in Asia.
Oh, so the yuan is the external currency. The renminbi is the local currency, and the Hong Kong dollar trades on its own. So they really got three currencies. And China has done very well, but their exports are down. They were down 45%. Now they're down 25%. They get 30 million people unemployed, not counting the people on the rice paddies. And this year, starting in February, they poured $1.8 trillion into the economy. And sure, it boosted the economy from a probable 5% GDP growth to about 8.5 or 9% again. But what the payment is for doing that is the people in China took a lot of money, and in Hong Kong as well, and speculated in the stock market and real estate, and now they got bubbles, and they got to put up with the same thing the U.S. and Spain and Ireland and Japan did many years ago, and they're going to have to work that bubble out. So the Asian currencies will be stronger than the dollar, or should be, but they're no panacea. Everybody's going to get hurt bad from this. Anybody who's holding dollars is going to get the shaft.
Well, let me ask you here, if I have an opportunity here in a major city to open a bank account in either Thailand money or Filipino money or another Asian country, is it worth it for me to start putting money into an Asian currency instead of the dollar?
Well, let's say hypothetically that the Asian currency, such as the three we just mentioned, and then the other four countries I mentioned, and let's say we put money in all of them, we might get back 20 or 30 or 40% on our investment in devaluation of the dollar worth of those versus those currencies. But a better bet is gold and silver.
Right.
Gold should be, on official inflationary basis, selling at $2,400 an ounce. It's not, because it's been suppressed since 1988 by the United States government. Real inflation would have gold selling at $6,700 to $7,150. Now, why screw around with currencies when you can make big money in gold and silver related assets such as bullion, coins, or shares? And the shares are the great performance.
Right. Now, is there any other question I can answer for you, trader? Or if not, I want to move to another call. But if you have something, we have time.
Well, I can sit in and listen to the other caller's question. So.
All right, no problem. I'll go ahead and mute you, and we'll go to my good friend, Canadian Patriot, listening to us in the 604 area code. You are on with Doc, Bob, and Proof. Go ahead.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Howdy.
Hi. Basically, obviously, I'm calling from Canada.
Vancouver.
Vancouver, yeah. And
I used to live in West Van.
Oh, really?
In the British properties.
Here. So things are pretty rough here. Maybe not as bad as in the U.S., but I've heard you mention a couple of times for Americans to move their money into Canadian treasuries. And one, I wanted to ask why. And two, if you think that things are going to get rougher here. We have pretty high unemployment, not as high, again, as the U.S., but it is high for us. And if we should, in Canada, be still concerned with purchasing gold and silver.
Well, first of all, you've got one of the best of the worst currencies. They're all bad. Yours is just better than most of the others. And so in that way, even though your unemployment's going to go up, and it's not going to be as good as it should be, the whole world is going to suffer. Now, you live in Canada, and they have the finest gold and silver mining companies in the world, the best technology, and I know lots and lots of people. I used, as I said, live in Canada. I've probably been there 500 times, and I know most of the people in management in gold and silver mining companies because I've been at it for 50 years. Unfortunately, half of them are already died, but that goes along with being 74 years old. But the point is, you've got these wonderful mining companies that are listed in Toronto, Agnico Eagle, Goldcorp, Silver Standard, Minefinders, and any number of others that you can buy as a wealth preservation vehicle. And they're very good companies. And you can also buy maple leafs and gold and silver and put them away. And if you can do that, you'll preserve your wealth. I think like Ontario and Quebec and Alberta, that in British Columbia eventually the real estate market's going to go down. And so I think...
well, it dropped. We've got a little bit of a rally right now, but it's heading south again, so...
Yeah, you got to sell into it because
we have the Olympics coming here, so when those are over, then things will change.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and but Canada's going to do much better than the United States, even though it's going to be very painful. If the United States has 50% unemployment, Canada will probably have about 15 or 20%.
Right.
You know, Mexico will probably have...
Americans that because they keep telling me they're moving up here.
Who is?
A lot of Americans keep telling me they're moving up here, so...
Well, they are, and they're moving to Mexico and...
Yeah, I live
and all kinds of other places. I mean, they want out.
Yeah, I hear it all the time. Well, I really appreciate all your work. I follow you around on a lot of different radio stations, so I appreciate all the information you put out there for everybody.
Well, now we know we have a stalker in Vancouver.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Hi, Doc.
Oh, no problem. Glad you were able to call. I think we got one last caller, and then we have to give Mr. Chapman the night off because where he's at in his time zone, he's getting pretty tired.
That's for sure.
We have Pat in Las Vegas who had her hand up just a moment ago, and, she took off. Okay. All right. Guess I can't go to them all too fast enough, but that's all right. Mr. Chapman, I want to go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Before he goes, I was reading your latest over there at the International Forecaster, and I noticed that you said something that I say a lot. When Lloyd Blankfein said that they were doing God's work, and I've often said that even this Copenhagen thing is them doing their God's work. And I've said that this environmentalism and things of that nature all spring from the tenets of Babylonian Baal worship, or the worship of Lucifer. And I wanted you to kind of go over what you wrote there about the gods of the elite, for those people that think that that's taking it just a little bit too far.